Hello everyone and welcome back. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Typically speaking, my videos consist of me going to one major place for the day and trying to find other things nearby to make a whole video. It's usually within one day and I usually conclude it within one trip. However, right now I'm in Shenzhen in China and photo spots in this bloody city are just way too far apart. I can't exactly do a few photos in one day because realistically speaking I can't really jump across the city in a blink of an eye. So instead I have decided I will instead make a compilation. So this video is going to be a compilation of places that are interesting for one photo, however are actually too far apart to be combined into one video. It's going to be going over very far away places, not that far away, but too far for one video. And they're going to be sprinkled all over, I think, 2024, because I think I'll have enough by then. So, enjoy this video, hopefully it goes alright, and right now I am at, I don't really know this place. Editing me put the name down here. The names are so hard to pronounce, I'll probably butcher it anyway. So, here's the name, it's made for Instagram or whatever Chinese people use, and it's 4 photos. So I don't think I'll be getting into trouble. So without further ado, let's do some B-roll of this place and set up the shot. After a relatively simple set of process, here I have the first shot of the video. Hopefully it is, because I just did the intro here and hopefully it's going to be the beginning of the compilation video. Let's take a look at what I'm using. 70-200 f2.8 at a little bit over 100mm. I think it's around 110 or so, hopefully around that. And I'll be honest with you, I actually moved everything closer to the doll because if I were standing, say, another meter back, I don't think you could see me talking at all. In fact, if anything, I don't even know if the Pocket 3 right now is tracking me at all. Kind of looks like it is, so hopefully it's working fine. At f5.6, because everything is already compressed to oblivion. I tried f8, but everything was a little bit too clear, and I wanted some background separation because all of this is extremely busy and will be distracting a lot from the doll itself. It's already in a pink outfit with a lot of detail, and hopefully it's not too busy, and hopefully it catches your attention because pink compared to the brown, dark red, black and white backgrounds should stand out a lot. Hopefully it's okay. As for lighting, it's very simple today. One light right here and the other light, where is it? Right along this handle, whatever it is, along the window, whatever. So 2 lights here because everything is relatively simple here with the lights shining on both sides. It's actually quite balanced, and plus I really didn't want to bring flashes here because I don't think I could use it. Turns out you probably can, so I kind of missed an opportunity there. But either way, I think that's everything. It's quite simple here, so let's take a look at the shot. I would say it's okay. It's not really anything special, but it's not every day that you find a location like this in Hong Kong, or in Sydney, or in anywhere else around the world. That, of course, lets me do this. Open up tripods and do basically anything I want, and there's nobody here. Nobody even came by, so I love this place. Anyway, enough talk. I think it's time for us to move on to the next spot. In 3, 2, 1. Hello everyone, and honestly, I'm not too sure where I am currently. So I'll just let editing me do that work, put wherever I am and whatever this is, down here or somewhere. All I know is I'm in Shenzhen in China, and that's about it. This is a place that has these pink grass flowers. I have no idea, but they look really good, especially up close with a telephoto lens like this. However, As you can see, I really don't have anywhere to put my Pocket 3 and record me setting up, so I just have the whole thing here done because it's quite a simple shot, and I will have to use a lot of AI because I am really not a fan of using 2 tripods at this kind of place under these kinds of weathers. Side note though, it's currently 3:30 p.m. The sun is still really bright. I have no idea how. It is absolutely blazing and I do not want to get heat stroke. So let's get this over with as quick as possible. I'm going to do it vlog style because I don't have anywhere to mount this thing. 7200 at around 135mm, f4.5 for a bit of a balance between bokeh, but I do want a little bit more compression and also blow the background out as much as possible because as you can see, the green back there, not exactly quite what I want. I want the pink and that's just about it. With just one tripod mounting it all like this, it's okay, it's quite stable, but it's also pretty windy. However, I just need to do one shot and just no need for stacking, just AI that shit. So it should be fine. Anyway, without further ado, I'll put a shot up here and show some B-roll as well. And I'd say, okay, I suppose. This is going to be a video filled with just snippets of wherever I'm in China because I will have to visit different places on different days and just shoving them into one video because China is just, everything is very separated. So on to the next spot. And here we are at the next spot. I think this place is called Melania Town. I'm not quite sure what it's called. There's one name on Google, this one. The other name, what Hong Kong people used to call it, and it's the real name. I'll just put everything on screen right now, so if you ever want to come here, that's your Google search. But this is a, what's the word? A place that emulates what it is to be in Europe, and after a quick lap, honestly, it doesn't quite hit the spot. It's all right for a quick photo, don't get me wrong. However, it's, for a lack of a better term, it feels cheap. Doesn't quite hit the colors, doesn't quite hit the feel right, it feels cobbled together. But that's perfect for what I need to do, which is just a photo. And plus you can actually use tripods and use flashes here, and nobody's gonna say anything. Because there's a lot less people compared to the real Europe. I'm not quite sure what this is supposed to be, Barcelona, or I don't know. But you can actually do whatever you want here, so that's a bonus for me, although I didn't bring my flashes, but that's outside the point. Anyway, I'm probably going to find somewhere around here that's for a good photo. However, there is a mismatch of color today. I have a primarily green outfit with white with me, and as you can see, everything around here is, well, blue, green, and outside there's red and yellow and pink, but those kind of look bad, so I'll see what I can do. As always, let's get some B-roll done and set up the shot. After around 20 minutes of setting up here, I have, I would say, one of the best shots of this whole place. Keep in mind, there are better spots, it's just that, well, the colors are kind of mismatching because the thing I have on me today is light green, around that. I don't know what's the color, exact color will be here, editing me, thank you. And in other spots, it's just, well, the sun's blasting those, so I can't exactly do that. And plus, if I were to set out outside someone's store, I think I would get into quite big trouble. Anyway, let's take a look at what I'm using. 7200 f2.8 at around 85mm, f5.0 or so, or 5.6, let me go check. It's around f5.0, because everything in this kind of focal length is just going to get blown out, and I do want the background. Not too much, or also not too blurred out, so I think this is a pretty good compromise. Horizontal composition, I'm probably going to crop down to 16:9 or 16:10 or so at a very vintage color tone, maybe something around the lines of Fuji film sim colors or something like that. Hopefully it should work fine. The lights, however, well, they're not exactly great in this situation. I have one light on top of the camera right here, the other light I'll be holding on my hand like this. However, they are really not strong enough to do pretty much anything. I didn't bring my flashes because I'm a lazy bastard, and plus, you know, having these lights are a lot more easier to use. However, they also come with a caveat that they're not really powerful enough compared to a flash. However, the lighting here is relatively fine, everything is soft, and I don't need flashes to overcome a lot of problems. And that also means that I don't need an ND filter, so saves me a lot of trouble. 2 tripods as always, this one's quite low to the ground, and that one's medium distance or so. You might ask me why don't I put it right up top, because I do want some of the foreground. So I think this looks fine. Anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at the shot. I'd say it looks around all right, and I think I've spent enough time here. I will likely go and find another shot here, maybe a half body, maybe something around the lines of a post-cardy shot, and I may or may not include it in the final video. If I did put it up here, I'll do some post-editing commentary on that, and if I didn't, that's enough of this place, and let's go on to the next one. And here we are at our next spot. Well, final spot for this video, I think, and this it's kind of a railway theme park, not theme park, but like a themed park, if you get what I mean. Exact name is on the screen right now, editing me, thank you very much. And I'm here for 2 specific photos. Well, one's along the railway and one's along the fancy station over there. I don't know if I can actually get these 2 photos because, as you can see, the lighting situation is really, really challenging. And, well, the sky is blue, but it's kind of a grayish blue. Not exactly the best thing ever. I came all the way here instead of on the other side. That other side is, technically speaking, a little bit more beautiful for person photos because, you know, person size versus a doll, which is like 1/4 scale. That's where it is. Yes, that's the term. And that's a lot more crowded. This is a lot more quieter, and I prefer that because there are kids running around and, well, you know, kids, when they get out of control, they just hit you things. And I don't want my dolls to get kicked by one kid. So I am going to be shooting along this railroad, maybe say with a longer focal length or something, but I'm not too sure because, yeah, it's not exactly the best thing ever. And plus, there are people that walk around, so I will be the subject of a lot of attention. So yeah, all for the best, and let's set up the shot. After quite a tedious setup process here, I finally have the first shot of this bloody place. This took me 45 minutes just to pull this entire thing together. Allow me to elaborate why before I go on about details. So as you can see right behind me there's the sun, and I thought to myself this would be a pretty good place because I could shoot along this way, get some sun in the place, and also have my bags, have my everything out there, which is out of the sun, because there's this thing, I don't know what's that called, that blocks everything. There's some shadow here and it's all direct sunlight here. I don't prefer that. However, having direct sunlight equally distributed along the entire thing is going to look pretty good. However, as you can see right now, I am in all shadows basically, because the sun has actually moved slightly to that side, meaning that the shadow casted over this entire railway. While that's okay, the background, as you can see, is really, really bright. That means I will have to stack at least 3 or 4 layers just for the background. I am not that concerned because the R5 can just pull everything in just 3 or 4 frames. However, this means extra work and I have to be more careful with stacking. Now, rant over, that's out of the way. Let's take a look at what I'm using for today. 7200 f2.8 at 100mm at f6.3, or let me see actually. at yes, 6.3, because everything is going to be compressed, it's going to be blown out at this kind of focal length, so I want a little bit of background detail. At the same time, I do want to avoid having too much detail in the foreground, because as you can see, it's all dark, it's all shadows, and the background is just all highlights, all blown out. I don't really know if I can actually pull the details even with a stacking photo, but that's just how it is. And a bullet train is passing by. How poetic. I'm shooting some old stuff and some new stuff over there. I might actually want to go on those one day if I travel even further down towards China, but you know. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's take a look at the flashes. So one flash over here, one flash right in front of me. This is for the face for balanced lighting. However, I am a little bit concerned because with backlit situations like this, flashes in front kind of disrupt the eyes and make it look too flashy. And if I'm not careful with balancing these things out, it will just ruin the entire shot, because there's no way in hell I can actually pull the eyes back down in terms of exposure. Hopefully it's okay. Vertical composition, because I try horizontal, but it's not that focused and it kind of looks a bit messy, so this will have to do. Anyway, rant over, that's all I need to say. Let's take a look at the shot. I would say it's probably all right. I don't know how it's going to look because, as I just said, it's a stacking shot and I have no idea how it would look with the final product. I think it'll look fine. I think editing me has the cojones just pull everything back down, but hopefully it looks okay. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. Anyway, I think it's time to pack up because I have one more shot all the way back there. Let's go. After walking around, say, 5 minutes or so, this is the main station area. I passed by this a while ago. I took a look at it and kind of thought to myself, yeah, kind of looks a bit shit. And I wasn't far off. It doesn't look that good. Compared to the Sydney Tram Museum, this video right here, it's a bit lackluster, but at the same time, it gives off that heavy industrial feel that you really can't find with foreign train stations. By foreign, I mean not Asia, you get what I mean. So I'm likely going to try this with a 70 or maybe 135mm, so something along the lines of like what this is. I'm not too sure because there is no sunlight, meaning that there's no contrast and so on without color. I do kind of want to try out a photo with this thing right here. Can you actually see it? This, the power car of the entire carriage system. But I'm not quite sure because if I were to be honest with you, it kind of looks a bit too old and rusty to look any good, unlike the foreign train cars. So without further ado, I'm gonna do some B-roll around this place, maybe try and sneak under that train and see if I don't get stuck or not. Anyway, B-roll and let's set up the shot. Alright, here's the thing. I'm really lazy and I could not be bothered to just wait for the wind to pass by and pick up the whole thing and have to shoot again, so I am just going to shoot the behind the scenes video right here and here and just have it done before I actually take the photo. So I don't really know how the actual thing looks. Let's take a look at what I'm using. 7200 f2.8 at a little bit under 100mm f4.5 because as you can see, the, what do you call that? The thing that covers you when you're standing at a platform, the thing is actually quite busy and there is a little bit of reflection light. So so I don't want it to take too much attention away from the doll. I doubt it will because the doll's white, it takes up the most of the entire scene, and it should be mostly alright. And I forgot to mention that I can actually sit down right here at this platform, so this makes it at least a little bit lower stress. There's not much direct sunlight, although I did underestimate, so I had to recalculate the whole ND thing. And there's a little bit of wind, which is why I'm just shooting the video first, but it's not as bad as just now. So I didn't have to stabilize anything and didn't have to look around me, just waiting for the doll to fall down when I'm eventually looking at my camera. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. 2 flashes. So one flash right up here, just for the eyes, and this one is, well, if possible, I'd actually like it to be a little bit higher, say 5 or 6 inches more, a little bit higher, but I don't have anything to support it because I am a lazy bastard and I forgot to bring my little tripods. Well, more if I didn't want to, because there's no point in bringing one tripod, one more thing, just for me to use it once and having to lug it the entire way back home. So no point. Anyway, it should be fine. I do have one more light on top of the camera, but I don't think at this distance it would really matter because that's around 2 meters or so, making it basically irrelevant. Anyway, I think that's about all I need to say, so let's take a look at the final shot for this video. I hope the shot actually looks alright because I have no idea how it's going to look, and plus, honestly speaking, I do think a sitting down shot is going to look a little bit better, so I have no promises if I can actually do one more photo like that because I think it's just going to end up looking the same. But who knows, if I actually do the vertical version, put it on my screen right now, thank you for editing me, add some settings on there, and I think it's time to roll the outro. I actually didn't want to film the outro at a place because, well, I saw this big bus carrying a bunch of tourists and I also heard a lot of Cantonese, meaning that there was very likely going to be a lot of Hong Kong people at the place, and I really wasn't into the idea of getting more attention that I am typically accustomed to. So I thought to myself, well, this is a video about me going to different places around Shenzhen and I am just going to film the outro somewhere else. Makes sense, right? So I'm back home with a shower and feeling a lot more comfortable. And I would very much like to tell you about what I think about Shenzhen as a whole, at least for photography. The public transport system in Shenzhen is honestly amazing. For someone who doesn't drive, it's great. There is massive coverage around the city and it's pretty frequent, covers trains, metro and buses, so yeah, I like it. The only problem I see is that this is China, they have these screening machines, these X-ray machines in front of every bloody station, and if you want to enter, you gotta get screened first. I don't really think that's much of a nuisance, other than the fact that I have to put down my bag, which is really heavy, and I had to take it back up, which is eating into my precious time, because China, Shenzhen is far away, and I don't really have much of that. Other than that, I'm not going to cover any of the political stuff. That's a whole bag of worms that I don't want to even go near. Anyway, I'm going to focus on the photo spots. There are 2 spots in this video that perfectly demonstrate what I'm going to say. The first one being that European town thing. Names up here, B-roll up here right now. It's alright. Doesn't look that bad. At the same time, it feels nothing like Europe. You might not be able to tell from the photos, but with some video, with some vlogging, you can definitely tell. It feels cheap. And the perfect word to describe it is it feels brutalist. It just feels like a lot of things cobbled together without much thought or much consideration gone into planning the whole thing out. It looks weird. Europe doesn't look that cluttered. It doesn't look that, what's the word? I would just say colorful, because they painted these buildings in bright orange, blue, and whatever colors of the rainbow they could think of, and it just looks unnatural. I don't mind it because I'm just there for a photo and I know this is China. I'm not going to have very high expectations towards it, but I still need to say that it's weird. It gives off that uneasy feeling. The other example would be the spot I went to just now. That one, the train park thing, that one on screen right now. It's alright. However, it's not a museum, so I am not going to be as harsh to it because I know it's very likely that they don't have the capital to run the place or maintain it as well as a museum. So, this place is a good example of what I don't like. It feels off. It doesn't feel like a place that should exist. It almost feels like they just saw this underutilized train station and just took it and made it a park. They added some staircases, some slopes, some accessibility stuff here and there, added a public toilet outside, and that's about it. They even put a it's not like a cafe train car, it's more like somewhere you can buy drinks and a snack in the middle of the train set. Isn't it supposed to be on the side? Isn't it supposed to be on, you know, a corner to not disrupt the whole feeling of the station? And everything is a bit overgrown and undermaintained, and overall just feels like it's underutilized. Again, very little consideration going towards how the place is actually going to be run, and just looks good on the surface, which I don't mind. I'm just here for a dull photo, and I honestly need even less space compared to just a human portrait. Hell, if you were to take a smartphone and take some photos, I would bet it would look okay. However, anything more than that, no, it doesn't work. I will say this though, if you're in Hong Kong or at least around the Shenzhen region, I highly recommend you to go to the places I have been in this video, because they are pretty well maintained compared to the rest of China. I'm not talking about Hong Kong, I'm not talking about Japan, I'm just comparing it to mainland China, okay? They're pretty alright in that regard, which means that I will very likely be making a part 2 of this video, because there are so many spots in Shenzhen that I do want to visit, and I don't really have enough time. So I'm going to pick some that are relatively better looking, or at least seasonal, and get my sorry ass over there, because it's at least not that far away. On second thought, I might go to a few places that are a little bit further away in Shenzhen, or a little bit even further inland that are not in Shenzhen, but that's a video for a different day. That might be a part 3. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this absolutely horrible video to the very end. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of this garbage. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you think about Shenzhen, or at least the Chinese region in the whole, and I will see you in the next video. Lemon, out.